Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that? Who that to the black and gold nation, man? What's good with it? What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Sports Coma, man. Giving a big shout out to the great Saint Think Tank. Who that to the family members chiming in on this one. Man, I'm gonna come at y'all right quick, family. We got another show coming up later on tonight for our Patreon people at 6 called TSC Q&A Live for the YouTube membership and the Patreon champion. So we're gonna jump into that. We had an earlier stream, TSC Unleashed, where we talk about a little bit outside of the Saints and Pelican realm. We dealt with a few issues. I invite the family members who aren't aware of TSC Unleashed, please feel free to check it out, man, and chime in. Anyway, welcome to this episode of the Sports Coma. Going to come at you, family. Peat injured. Of course, we covered a lot of this on the previous show yesterday toward the back end. And I'd like to give a big shout out to all the family members chiming in the live stream. And as we always start, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Of course, I'm Big Q chiming in with you. And as you can tell, this one is called Pete Injured. He's injured, he's hurt. And a lot of family members are going to chime in on this one. I can tell they're already getting going. Who that to you, Till? My dog Till in the business. What's up, Till? How you doing, fam? Debo in here. Look up Debo. Debo firing it up. He says, what's all the Andrus Peat? What he says, where's all the Andrus Peat was worth the new contract talks? Q. He's versatile, bro. He had a broken leg 1 year, broke his arm now. His hand, dude, is injury prone. His player's already lackluster. And Debo, me and you done had this talk, bro. Me and you done had this talk. That man owned that contract, bro, because he played all those different positions. He filled in for many years for Teron Armstead. And he's a multiple-year Pro Bowler. We just going to discount his Pro Bowls, right, bro? I got you, bro. Debo says, and we cut Lady Warford. What he says, they gonna need to take dude to come back or something because Peat not that dude, bro. The man got hurt, bro. 3 weeks he'll be back. He'll be back. Remember, it's the same man that played with a busted hand, bro. You know, so I mean, he gets a lot of flack, and I expect that, man. Debo says 6'7", 315. He don't hold back on one, bro, because Peat just got a big check. He been on notice, bro. I don't understand where all that's coming from. Andrus Peat earned his paper, bro. He earned it. The Saints paid him because they haven't seen the best of Andrus Peat, and I really do think so. You know, I really do. And let's see what the rest of the families, who that to the rest of the family chiming in. Jerry, who that to you once again, fam. Ray Long says, I hope there won't be too much Peat slander. Debo says, BQ, don't hold back on this one, bro. Peat just got a big check. I got you, Debo. He's hurt, bro. I got you, Debo. I got you. But that does not discount the fact that he's a Pro Bowl. If he was some lackluster $6 million backup, of course I'll let him have it with both barrels. But I just don't see why Peat is the subject of so many attacks, being that he shifted all the way. Nobody did what that guy did, bro. And he still was able to be a Pro Bowler. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm throwing in there. Jermaine, who that to you? Jermaine. He says Peat out for 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to get into today, fam. Ray Long says y'all need to calm the hell down. 2 weeks, bro. I'm saying 2 to 3 weeks, bro. He going to be back in the fold. This man played with several injuries through the season, bro. He's a gamer, man. I like Peat. And I'm, for one, saying that I think we haven't seen the best of him. All right. Teal says Peat's injury sucks, but it's not that bad. Thank you, Teal. Jermaine says, Peat, man, let me tell you, man, a good player, but damn, he always getting hurt. I got you, Jermaine. Teal says, Peat still deserves his deal, bro. I agree, bro. Debo says, Nick Easton going to be our guard starter in game 1, LOL. So I guess Sean Payton knew something, huh? He knew something. But anyway, family, we're going to touch on that. We got several news items that I'm going to kind of get through today on this episode of Sports Coma. So please feel free to hit the like button. And this is going to be kind of an expedited version of the Coma, man, as we move through 7 types. So I'm going to share my screen with the family. And we're going to start off with this one. As Andrus Peat, man, as you see, suffers broken thumb. Timetable return is unclear. Of course, it's then revealed that it'll be 2 to 3 weeks. We probably say about a month with that broken thumb. And a bit of a blow, but not a long-term deal. Left guard Peat broke his thumb, according to Ian Rappaport from NFL. Peat has been sidelined with what was called a hand injury, missing Monday's first day of padded practice. Peat has not been ruled out for the Saints' season opener against the Buccaneers, but his timetable for return, about 2 or 3 weeks, that was revealed. It's not possible to predict injury, but this one seems to come with a wish to turn back in time. In the spring, the Saints drafted Michigan interior lineman Cesar Ruiz in the first round, clearing the way for the Saints to part ways with Pro Bowl guard Larry Warford, who was about to enter a contract year. Presumably, the Saints would proceed forward with an offensive line that started Peat at left guard, second-year center Eric McCoy, and Ruiz at right guard. With Peat's status now uncertain, the Saints will be forced to turn elsewhere to fill the void for an undetermined period of time. Warford is still a free agent, but he won't be able to get Warford, man. He opted out, so he's not a person you want to look at. I don't know if this reporter knows that or not. Oh, he does. This could all be irrelevant by week 1. Of course, if Peat's injury doesn't require surgery, he can be suited up for week 1 after this. I won't anticipate that broken. Remember, he played with that broken forearm for 2 weeks at the end of last season. Perhaps people remember that. He played with a busted hand. This guy plays with broken bones and still gets no respect. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And besides, it's not like he's kind of milling through this thing. This guy actually made several Pro Bowls. He's a Pro Bowl guard. What part of I just don't understand. Now, let's espouse on it. This is a depth chart from OurLads.com, one of my favorite resources pertaining to football. And it's showing you that Peat's backup as it's highlighted right there. You can see on the offensive line there. Behind him, they have Derek Kelly, the second. It's also Patrick Omame. We, of course, know the Saints do have several options. As we know, you know who's going to probably end up taking this position. It's going to be their high-priced backup guard that's going to come in and play for the team, Nick Easton. So we can see that off top that Easton's going to fill in, because of the money. Now you have other guys that could play that guard position that they probably won't trust right now. You got Will Clapp. You got guys like Derek Kelly II, who was on the active roster for several games last week. You got undrafted guys that's in there, that might be vying for it. We'll see. Cam Tom can also play the guard position as well as the center position. You got Patrick Omame that's there. But the Saints have depth behind Andrus Peat, and besides, we're looking at him being out for, 2 or 3 weeks. I estimate, but roughly a month. We'll have him back in the fold, which isn't that bad. Plus, James Hurst also plays that position if Nick Easton can't. They have a lot of depth at the position. So I anticipate Pete to come back 2 or 3 weeks. New reports are coming out, more updated reports coming out from the NFL Network that is 2 to 3 week time span. I like always tack on an extra week just in case. So I would look at maybe about a month or so, which still puts us in pretty good, I ain't gonna say pretty good hands, but of course, Nick Easton over there. But, I mean, we should be able to get by with the depth that we have. All right, now let's move forward to the next option right here. We're going to talk about another person, man, the Saints. And this came from the Saints Wire. Saints report multiple free agent tryouts at training camp. And we'll talk about this one. Now, New Orleans Saints reports tryouts. They had 5 free agent tryouts Monday. I don't know if a lot of people were aware of that. That kind of slipped under the radar by me. Most notable is wide receiver Jack Lampman. You remember him. He first entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent deal with the Saints back in 2016. He's from Ferris State, began his rookie year on the practice squad, but logged just 89 snaps on special teams before being released. He was quickly snatched up by the Bucs, where he's 6'1", 205 pounds. He hung around with a few years. Now, after another former member of the Saints called in for trials was tight end A.J. Derby. Remember him? This was the guy the Saints brung in. Now, he was originally a 6th-round draft pick by the Patriots. He's 6'5", 240. He joined the Saints late in 2019 preseason, but wasn't able to crack the roster. Before that, he was traded several times, taking the field with the Patriots 4 games, Denver 15, Miami 6 games. And, of course, you remember Derby. Derby got an opportunity to come on as well into the regular season, and it didn't work out either. Other tryouts, they had 3 other guys who tried out were tight end. For the tight end group was the group rounded out by Ethan Wolf and Donnie Ernsberger and Ryan O'Malley. They have combined for 4 regular season game appearances between the 3 of them, and these were tight ends. So it's an indication that the Saints are trying out tight ends. Why? Because as the thumbnail would indicate, Josh Hill is having issues as well. Sean Payton doesn't like to give out injury lists or injury updates every damn day. That's just how he feels. The Saints have been without Josh Hill for much of the training camp due to some injury that they don't want to tell you about. And he's a valuable backup behind Jared Cook. Outside of him, the Saints have 2 young rookies who looking interesting. You got Adam Troutman. You got Tommy Stevenson. Behind him is guys like Garrett Griffin, who seems to always be lurking around. He hadn't been able to really do much to actually crack the roster. But he does have experience, in-game experience they could probably rely on if Josh Hill's not able to go. But most of these other guys appear to just be camp bodies there. And that's what it says. It's with 2 backups opted out due to the C19 and rookie Tommy Stevens transition into that position. The Saints probably wanted to see if they could add some more experience and to pads out the practice rotation. They haven't signed anyone yet, but stay tuned. You can see more play swing to Garrett Griffin. Perhaps you might see something they might be interested with as well. So this is another report indicating that the Saints don't, Sean, he said that during the press conference. We played that yesterday, not wanting to update. He talked about Josh Hill, but didn't give you really any detailed information. But then they did try out tight ends at the position, which could stipulate that Josh Hill could be dealing with an injury in which he might miss some time. The Saints won't back up. So a little interesting as it goes there as well. Now, of course, another article I want to touch on, 6 players that are being raved at about training camp. Now, of course, the New Orleans Saints have kicked off their first training camp practice on pads Monday, and some players impressed more than others. Here's a quick look at who was talked about after their first practice session and actually looked like real football. Of course, number 1 on the list is your boy, Peanut Butter and Jelly Williams, number 26 in the building. Had a pretty good camp. Williams produced a pair of takeaways in Monday's practice, forced a fumble out of the backup running back Dwayne Washington, who in my opinion needs to convert to a fullback. Then he was recovered by defensive end Marcus Hunt, and then an interception A too high pass that was tipped off of Juwan Johnson's hands. He also did so while lined up at safety and cornerback. At practice, Peyton said about Williams' big day in his cross training between positions. Quote, "We'll like the fact that he's smart. He's got good ball skills. He had caused a fumble today, an interception today, so he's one of those players that has good football IQ." Really now? Really now? Really? P.J. Williams, I've never, and I'm not saying the kid's stupid, but I've never heard anybody reference P.J. Williams and good football IQ together. I just am saying. Because his whole career is a mishmash, a montage of inconsistency. He has the measurables, he has the ability, but he has been in the same system for 4 years, for at least 4 years, the same system, and has not excelled where he has been sitting at for the past several seasons. He hasn't really went anywhere. And that is due to the fact that obviously he does have skills. This could be the fact that the Saints are playing him out of position and have recognized that they're playing him out of position, which you could say, okay, we're playing him at safety, which is good. Last month of the year, last year, and I'm talking about the 4 games in the month of December, not the playoffs game, where he played and filled in for Marcus Williams and Von Bell. And it was, of course, C.D. Deuce, the artist formerly known as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And P.J. Williams was back there playing, and they were balling. They were balling, and I kept telling them for years on years that guy is not a cornerback. He does not exhibit cornerback type abilities. He's a safety. He loves the tackle. If he comes up, he's going to get you. He's in my opinion, he's the best tackle and defensive back on the team. That's my opinion of him. He comes up, he makes the play, he's going to tackle you. He's going to hit you. You know, now he's not good at getting interceptions, despite the fact that he had all this stuff going on at camp. You know, but P.J. Williams to me is a guy that he's the epitome of inconsistency, man. If he can just focus and get it together, he could be a real asset. So the Saints seen in that safety thing, that's the reason why he's still on his team, because this kid shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there as a cornerback. Moving on to the next one. Emmanuel Butler is another dude that most people have on the list of top people during camp. And excuse me for a second, didn't we see this movie last year? I mean, P.J. Williams, Emmanuel Butler. We've seen this movie last year where he was balling in camp, catching the pass. He looks like the dude. He's tall. He got a muscular physique, big wide receiver. But put him in the game, he melt like butter. He melted under the lights, started dropping passes, and literally disappeared from the lights and was relegated, cast into the practice squad hell, the limbo for the entire summation of the year. Didn't sniff the active roster. Not once Sean Payton didn't look at him and said, let's bring Butler up to the active roster, see what he can do. And they had several issues with the wide receivers, not to mention the fact that they went and got Krishawn Hogan off the street and put him on the active rosters to the chagrin of Emmanuel Butler. Because LaJordan Humphreys was on the active roster for several games. So I can't say nothing about him. But this kid right here, who they had all the flash and snare about, he sat on the practice squad. Maybe he can take that and build upon it. Butler was dominant in his solo work, winning both of his reps against the artist formerly known as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, C.D. Deuce, that's how I'm going to refer to him. What's impressive is that Butler beat his opponents with both speed and strength, streaking down the sideline, out-muscling them at the catch point in return. He'll translate, hopefully, those into big moments into team drills and earn a spot on the opening day roster. The Saints only have a few game-proven receivers on hand between Thomas and Sanders. Deontay Harris may be a prodigy in the return game, but it's unclear how a big role he'll command on offense. You'll see him in there. Traquan Smith has a lot to prove. If Butler impresses as much in camp, this guy totally just went right past the fact that they added to the team Fowler. Benny Fowler is a major impediment to Emmanuel Butler in this one. He's a major impediment. Okay, he says, and then if Butler impresses as much as he did in camp last year, he just might be the guy to fill out the depth chart, or perhaps he'll end up right where he started, back on the practice squad. You know, there's a lot of depth at the wide receiver position, and Benny Fowler answers a lot of questions, man. Don't forget Ty Montgomery. Don't forget Taysom Hill. Listen, it's tough, man. Number 3 on the list, Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, is on the list. Jenkins' best moment Saw him flash past the line of scrimmage on the corner blitz to swat down the pass from Taysom Hill, targeting Alvin Kamara. But he also held his own in one-on-one drills against Emmanuel Sanders with tight coverage and another pass breakups. I seen some footage of those two going at it, man. Jackrabbit and Emmanuel Sanders going at it. Man, I seen some stuff, and it was pretty good, man. That was some real good play right there. Now, it's early, but seeing Jenkins retain his rare ball skills into his 9th year in the NFL is a great sign. He picked off multiple passes every season back to 2014 and set a new career high in 2019 with 5 interceptions. He and Marshawn Lattimore have the makings of a tremendous 1-2 punch at the cornerback position. Lattimore also recorded an interception on an underthrown deep pass from Taysom Hill. So much love to the Jackrabbit. Going up to number 4 on the list, Blake Gilligan off of Gilligan's Island. That's right, undrafted rookie punter who was guaranteed nothing more than 5G signing bonus turned heads Monday. Gilligan dropped 3 punts inside of the 5-yard line during special teams drill. Why is this kid here? They kept asking. And I kept telling them, it's like, man, they're going to cut Gilligan. I said, no, man. This is the first punter the Saints have had in camp since Morstead was a rookie. That was a long time ago. Now, Peyton's downplaying it. Notice he's saying he's using them as a leg to rest. That's what he keeps saying. He's just in here to be a leg to rest. No, this kid is a threat. This kid is a threat. And I told you I was watching footage of Gilligan from college, and he is a magnificent punter. He is magnificent. And besides, remember, relationships. That's what the NFL is all about, correct, fam? Well, he is guess who he has a relationship, and guess who knows this kid? Well, the assistant coach, Phil Galliano, who was the assistant coach on the special teams behind Coach Rizzi. He had ties. He came from Penn State, had connections to Penn State. That's how you get Blake Gilligan here. Same thing that happened with Emmanuel Sanders and Benny Fowler. They wanted another guy to train with Drew Brees. Well, Sanders is catching passes. He said, let me bring my boy Benny. And Drew, like what Benny did, guess where Benny is on the team? Relationships. Same thing here. This kid can punt, man. He dropped 3 inside the 5 on special teams. And big thing here, a lot of people saying, oh, no, we'll never lose Morstead. Listen, fam. Morstead's making, anywhere between $4 to $6 million a season for a punter. This kid's making peanuts. So they could save a lot of money if they make that move. Sooner or later, Morstead's going to go. A lot of people saying Drew's gone. Guess what? If Drew goes, when do you think Thomas Morstead leaves? That's a question nobody's really asking. Oh, he can kick forever. Not in this NFL. It's not the same. The Saints are looking at this kid for obvious reasons. He is a really good punter, I'm telling you. And noting his hang time twice surpassed almost 5 seconds this dude had the ball in the air. Come on. That's impressive even by NFL standards that this guy had a 4.7 hang time on his punts. Come on. 5 seconds waiting on the ball in the air? Man, that's pretty good, man. Now, Football Focus charting back in 2014 had a 4.44 second average hang time on targeted punts deep in the territory. That's pretty good. Now, Gilligan shouldn't threaten Thomas. That's bull. If he's there to compete with him, any competition, like Rockefeller said, is a sin. That's like a monopoly man would think, but monopolies aren't good for you, say, if you're a consumer. But it's excellent if you're the guy that's producing everything. It's all that old Walmart science, baby. At first, I'm your friend. I'm going to come out with all the cheap stuff. And after I annihilate all my competition by dropping the cost of my goods and Kmart disappears, Target reformats, and all the competition goes down, then I jack my prices back up. That's how monopoly men operate. But this is definitely a threat to Morstead, despite the chagrin of a lot of people, man. They had an opportunity to kick this kid off the team to make the roster at 80. He's still here kicking because they know he can produce. I'm telling you. We'll see how it handles, man. $4 to $6 million. If Drew goes, how long is it before Morstead do, being that those guys came here around the same time? I'm just saying. It's a youth movement going on behind the scenes. But the combination of his obvious skill and the expanded 16-strong practice squad meant the Saints could keep him around in case of an emergency later this year. He certainly set the right tone early. They can also practice squad this kid too, man. Remember, people don't if people can go back in their Saints brains, remember the Saints practice squad, Will Lutz, when they first got him? Remember that? They practice squatted Will Lutz and then said, you know what, we're going to pull him. Then they pulled him off the practice squad and then activated him. Do y'all remember that? I remember the whole play because I was watching. I was like, what? They practice squatted this guy? Who is this guy? But, you know now. And then fifth on the list is Cam, the man, Jordan. He said it kind of goes without saying that the best players stood out the most, but it's always nice to be reminded that Jordan doesn't really know how to let off the gas. He blew up the first play run by Drew Brees and the team drills by crashing through the offensive line, earning a sack. A couple of minutes later, he followed up by splitting the sack with David Onyemata. And after practice, he shouted out rookie linebacker Zach Bowen, who also disrupted Brees in the 11-on-11 session. Jordan has been vocal about his readiness for the season to start all summer, and so far he's backing up the big talk. 15 and a half sacks, Cam the man Jordan coming off last year, family. 15 and a half sacks for Cam. He would have gotten 20 if Davenport was still healthy. I'm telling you, he would have gotten 20 easily. And, of course, remember, he also had that injury that happened in the final month of the season that he was dealing with that nobody knew about until after the season. Same scenario with Mike Thomas. So real interesting, man. Really interesting, to say the least, between this. But these are some of the articles that I'm touching on today with the family members. Top 5 people who made noise so far in camp. And then, of course, we go to the fact that the Saints tried out several free agents. Of course, no mention of any signings. They are loaded. Now, they did have a lot of tight ends. Of course, we realized that 2 of those guys opted out for C-19. They were long shots. We still have guys like Garrett Griffin there. And, of course, if you look at the backups, which is the tight end position, Jared Cook, Josh Hill, Troutman, there's Garrett Griffin. Of course, they converted Tommy Stevens there as well. And don't forget, the Saints could also convert Juwan Johnson, who's massive. He's a big physical guy. If they need him to play the position, they could still utilize him there, because truth be told, it's going to be a long shot for Juwan Johnson to make the team, to be honest with you. There's so many other people that's ahead of him. He's really a long shot to make the team. Even a guy like Marquez Callaway, who you see there, was operating as a punt return and kick return on the Saints special teams unit, which is interesting. He has that speed, and he could be an asset in that way. If he can contribute that way, watch out, Marquez Callaway. If he can stay healthy, he might be able to get in there. So it's Benny Fowler is there. So don't forget. And we also, the reporter asked Sean Payton about Juwan Johnson and spoke about how big he is. And he said there is that component that they might be able to do a hybrid thing, positionless football, be able to slide those guys around, man, as you see fit. So I want to give a big shout out to all the family members chiming in the live stream as well. Please hit the like button, family. I'm not going to be with you guys very long today, but I just wanted to come in here and cover some news with you. We got a TSC Q&A live that I have to get ready for. So I would love to come in and kind of go over some stuff with the family members. But today, Bishop, one love, I see you, family. Tori, good to see you as well. Much love to the family members chiming in the live stream. Rush Hour and the rest of the fam. Dada, I see you there, family. I see you, Cameron Giles as well. Good to see you, fam, as well, supporting the live stream. So, family, please hit the like button. 504 Easy, I see your family as well. And I appreciate all the family members for chiming in, hollering at me on this dish. So, as you can see, a lot of people talk about Andrus Peat and say, well, Andrus, man, Andrus, man. I'll tell you what, Andrus is this, that, and third. My dog, Depot, you heard his thoughts on it, and that's fine, man. I understand that. I do a lot of that sometimes with players of my own. I do a lot of that stuff with guys like, what's his name? Trey Hendrickson, who people say, Q, we going to be all right, bro. Trey Hendrickson got our back. And I'm like, man, you crazy. But then again, it's not the same scenario, being that Hendrickson has never made a Pro Bowl. I don't know when the last time. I'm going to have to really dig into his background, like I did that time last year in the Teron Armstead, to make his background. Say this guy hadn't played a full season for the Saints in several seasons. I had to go all the way back to show people what I was talking about. It's like, damn, I didn't realize he missed so much time. And then you would see why I was so big on Pete, because I was like, he had a lot of experience at the left tackle position, despite the fact, that he came out as a guy that was that cornerstone left tackle. And he never played the guard position until he got to New Orleans. The way it was done was upsetting, but he still made it work for a position that he never played before he made the Pro Bowl at it. I would say that's pretty outstanding. Who that to you, Joe? Good Joe. See you, Joe Guidry. Lee Wood, True Louisiana Animal, and the rest of the family members in the building. I see y'all. Who that to you as well. So, like I said, man, watch out for Blake Gilligan as well. We'll see. Cameron said, who the hell is Blake Gilligan? The backup, the new punter that the Saints brung on, man. He's in there kicking the ball. It's a 5-second hang time on it. He put 3 or 4 of them inside of the 5-yard line, so he's a very good directional punter too. I mean, it's something to think about, man. It's something to think about when it gets down to that. So I'd like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for chiming in on this edition of the live stream. Before I go, I want to spend some ads for the family members to let the family members to go to the pro shop, check all our latest gear. The 2 newest shirts, Living That Who That Life, is available at the pro shop, so you can feel free to check that out. Living That Who That Life. It comes in about several different colors, sizes, men, women, children, all kind of stuff. Coffee mugs, all that. The links in the description section below. Also hats, face coverings, all kind of stuff. Whatever you want, the pro shop got you. Several different shops are available. And, of course, a lot of the profits go directly back into the platform, as you can see, because of the support of the family members, because of your support and the help that you guys have been given by sharing the links in the social media feeds, becoming YouTube members, becoming Patreon champions, and just overall supporting the show. I'm just ratcheting it up. Y'all guys ratchet it up. Y'all support. I'm ratcheting it up to meet your passion, to meet your love for doing and talking about the Saints, the Pelicans, and we just mashing on, baby. As you can see, I've been increased it, baby. I've increased and moving forward. So I'd like to thank you guys for doing that, and feel free to go to this pro shop, and if you see any items that tickle your eye, feel free to check it out. Also, Pro Radio family. Pro Radio is available. The link in the description section below. If you want to listen to all the shows in their audio formats, the Sports Coma, Pelican Post Game Report, Ring King, Boxing World, Tough Tiger Talk, all available on Pro Radio, which is attached to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Apple Podcasts. We all over the place, man. Cold-blooded radio operator. And also, just to let the family members know to check out the Patreon if you like what you see on the channel and the platform, and you want to be a person that helps out, become a patron. You can donate $1 a month or $5 a month, whatever's in your heart to give. We'll appreciate it, and we will recycle it, put it back into the platform, and grow it. As you can see, things are ramping up. Got a lot of stuff coming too, family. More gear is on the way. Those are two gear. You know, the Who Living That Who That Life. That is another one, and the other one. Let's get another chip with the eye and chip being a Super Bowl trophy, coming in all those colors and sizes. We also got more stuff coming in. We got the graphic artist working on "Don't Burn the Beans." You know, my new saying is saying "Don't burn the beans." You know, like we got some shirts coming out for that as well. Don't burn the beans, Sean Payton. But anyway, yeah, we got that coming up real soon. And we got a lot of stuff y'all going to really be excited about coming down the pipe, man. We just exploding, doing some great stuff. And also, we got a sponsor here, GetLifeMask.com. At Life Mask, breathe easy. You can go there. They have several masks available, the Saints, the Pelicans, and LSU masks. Of course, I told them if you want to talk to the people, you got to give my family a discount, and they were able to give a 10% discount on if you go to GetLifeMask.com and get your mask to protect yourself. If you go to some of the out events and you're out and about and somebody's requiring you to wear one of these things, you know, get one that's stylish. Check it out. We got some. They got some as well. 10% off. The Sports Coma is the code. GetLifeMask.com. So I thank all the family members for doing what you do. I'm tuning up in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to get ready to do the TSC Q&A live. That's for our Patreon members and our YouTube Patreon champions and our YouTube members. If you're not one of those, please feel free to go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Link in the description. Sign up for Patreon. If not, become a YouTube member. You'll have access to the show and several other shows, including On Q with Big Q, and a few other things. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate y'all. As usual, peace, and I'll be back tomorrow for some more TSC Unleashed. We'll be back tomorrow for that. And, of course, our Wednesday show, Sports Coma Show, be about a 3-hour affair. So I thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for chiming in. Much love to you and Yearn. Peace. Who dat? And I'm out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sport